What's up, everybody? It's waba, and I have been playing Helldivers 2. It's been a lot of fun. It's a breath of fresh air. If you haven't tried it, I would definitely recommend it. There's plenty of videos, there's plenty of stuff out there gushing over this game. I am not going to do that. I'm not going to make one of those videos, not because I wouldn't, but just because the time has passed. You should try Helldivers. Other people have said it. I don't need to expand on that anymore. I'm going to be making this video about the currencies that we have in Helldivers and kind of give you some recommendations, some pointers on how to use them initially. I'm not going to go too in depth about them. I'm just going to talk about what they are and how you get them. Like I said, I will include just a little bit on how maybe I would recommend spending your first currencies. But, you know, I will make some more in-depth videos about this game moving forward. So, anyway, with that said, let's go to it. First, you can see all your currencies. If you hit escape, you can see them all right here in the top right of the screen. You have your Requisition. That is the one that allows you to purchase your stratagems. Right below that, the Requisition is the R, the yellow R. The right below that are the super credits. That is the microtransaction version of this game. I think they do a pretty good job with that. You actually do get microtransaction credits in the game as you're playing, so it's not just like you have to purchase them. To the right of that, that's a medal, the one that's that has 34 right now. That's a medal. You get that by completing missions. You can also find them in the game as well. You also get them by completing your either your major orders or your personal orders on the right side. And then to the right of that, you have your samples. You have your common samples, which are the green. You have your rare samples, which are the orange. And then you have your super rare samples, which are the purple ones. As you can see, those are the ones I have the least amount of, but also because I just got most of my stuff. I only have one more thing to upgrade, and I actually need rare samples to get that. So that said, let's just go talk about the Requisition and what that's used for. So when you first get in the game, you're going to come to this little panel over here. It's not going to look like this because mine's all upgraded, but right when you get off, you're going to go over to your ship management screen. You know, you could change your ship here, you could change the name, blah, 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 blah. But come into the stratagems, that's where you could purchase things using the Requisition. Early on, I wouldn't recommend just buying every single thing. Like anti-material rifle, I wouldn't buy that for quite a long time. Like, I would buy it when I have everything else that I want, but it's really not even that good. As of right now, that could change in the future. But you also don't have to go and order and unlock things. Like, you can actually go right to the expendable anti-tank as long as you're the level and unlock it. So you don't need to unlock these three before you get to that one, or you don't need to unlock the machine gun before you get to the stalwart. So that's how that works. And then there's a couple different areas to go through, right? So just to give you a couple recommendations on things to buy early on as you're leveling, and maybe some like practices. I wouldn't ever bank points until between level 15 and 20. By level 20, I would try to save somewhere I would want to have about 30,000 rec by level 20, so you can make a railgun purchase. You could make a shield backpack purchase, and then you could also purchase. There's another purchase that's in there. It might be the 500 kilogram bomb. I'm not sure if that's level 15, but at least 20,000 rec by the time you're level 20, so you can purchase the railgun and the shield generator backpack. They're pretty good, even though they both just saw a nerf. They're still pretty good and still worth the purchase. But early on, notable purchases: stalwart, great at killing a lot of little shit. It's definitely better for the bugs. It's actually probably decent versus the bots, but it's fun. It's better than the machine gun. You could reload while you're moving with the stalwart, which you cannot with the machine gun. So something to note. The next one, expendable anti-tank. I actually use this in like my bread and butter sort of loadout for whenever I am playing, even on Helldive difficulty, the highest difficulty. I still use this. It actually gets better the more people use it, because whenever it comes down in a hell pod, it drops with 2. And another interesting side effect of this weapon is this is actually one of the few weapons that you could pretty easily combo with another support weapon, such as the stalwart, or such as, down when we get to it, the grenade launcher. A little bit. You still have to swap them out and pick them up, but you can't really use 2 support weapons. But expendable anti-tank is actually kind of the one that does work a little bit there. The flamethrower is probably pretty good early. They did just buff this. People are using this a lot now. It could kill not bile titans, but chargers pretty well. Again, better versus the bugs. Auto cannons. I think the auto cannon is, you know, if you're playing more bots, I would get the auto cannon. If you're playing more bugs, I would get the flamethrower, but the auto cannon is also pretty good. It does require you to either wear the backpack or have someone else wear the backpack. That creates its own problem, so it's pretty long to reload. You could shorten the reloading time by reloading it before it runs out of ammo, but that's that. Then you have your railgun. All right, like railgun, really good. Like, again, just saw a nerf. You have to use an unsafe mode, but still really good. Orbitals, I didn't really use any of these orbitals. The first one I purchased, I think I purchased Orbital Gatling Barrage. It's not very good, but first one I purchased that I used a lot of, and I just stopped using it recently, was an Orbital Laser. Orbital Laser is fantastic at killing a lot of targets. I think it's like a good thing to throw when you're in a pinch and you have a lot of enemies around you. But the one I actually use now is the Orbital Rail Cannon Strike. This one singles out a big target and will deal substantial damage to them, either killing them. Like, it will one-shot a charger, but it will deal a lot of damage to a bile titan. And you'd need a couple more things to kill a bile titan. But it is good for, like, the taking out a big target on the spot. Eagle Airstrike. You get this really early on, but it is fantastic all the way through the end of the game. Like, I still use this. This is a part of my standard loadout. Cluster Bomb, kind of alright. Dangerous, though. Dangerous. You could kill your teammates really easily with this, but the Cluster Bomb is okay. Let's see, other ones. 500 kilogram bomb. This is better for a single target, but it's hard to get them to stop because the AoE is pretty small. As you can see in the demonstration video, it took out a bile titan. It does do that if you could land it. So it is like a little bit of a skill shot, especially when they're moving. If you could get them in a spewing animation, that's when you want to use it. Okay. Some of these other ones, like, I haven't really used any of these. Of course, I've unlocked them. Fun little side note. I think if you actually pair the shield generator, if you pair the shield generator relay with the autocannon, that's almost like running something with the shield backpack generator. Kind of. More on that. But I might make a video on that. I think it's pretty interesting. I don't think it's so useful versus bugs, though, because they melee you. But I could be wrong on that. Early on, you're playing with your friends, get a supply pack. This is really good. You could keep your friends topped up. It gives you a pretty, like, defined specific role when you're playing, which is a lot of fun. I think this is actually quite a bit better than people give it credit for. And I actually think that there might be a spot for it in, like, end game loadouts with, like, a team of people if you're doing the highest difficulties. Okay, so grenade launcher, really good first purchase, great at killing holes like we see. It's also good at one-shotting nursing spewers and bile spewers. You will see those in the game. They are much more threatening than they appear, but they're good at killing that, and they're also good at taking out, like, these sort of bugs and whatnot. But it can be a little dangerous as it does explode on impact. Guard Dog Rover, great. Just really good. Before you could get another, or the ballistic, not the ballistic, the shield generator, the backpack shield generator, I'd say this one is the one that you use. It's great at killing the little things. It helps you versus the hunters, which are actually a huge threat in this game right now. Don't worry about the laser side of it. It won't overheat. The AI manages that. That's actually why it's better than the other guard dog, because the other guard dog runs out of ammo and it has to reload on you. I don't even know if it's a finite amount of ammo. I just know that it spends quite a bit of time reloading, and the laser is actually almost always going. It can kill you, though, and it can kill your teammates, so just be careful with that. You have to be what's the word I'm looking for? You have to be aware of its location and how it's using its laser. Arc thrower just got a buff. I haven't used this yet, but people do quite like this, and I've seen it used quite a bit. You have to be careful because it can kill your teammates as well. Shield generator backpack. You're going to see this a lot, especially in the higher levels. It's fantastic. It gives you a lot of mobility, even because it does stop things from concussing you or breaking your legs or any shit like that. Again, versus the bugs. It's still really good versus the bots too. Some would almost say it's probably necessary versus the bots. And then you have all your sentries. The guard dog is also in here, and then you have your patriot down here. I wouldn't really worry about the sentries until I got a lot of those other things unlocked. The only exceptions, EMS mortar sentry. I actually like this one more and more. The mortar sentry can kill you and your teammates, so I'd be careful about that. Oftentimes people would pair up these sentries on like eradicate missions. They'll get like a mortar sentry and then the EMS mortar sentry. What I actually do, I don't know if this is like necessarily good, but I get the EMS mortar sentry and then I get the mech, because the mech is almost like a walking sentry, but it has its downsides as well. So ship modules, great. Like the first ones I'd recommend. The liquid ventilated cockpit, that's for your eagles. I would even rush to get pit crew hazard pay. And as soon as you're playing a difficulty that allows you to get supers, or you feel comfortable with that, I would get the expanded weapons bay. This makes eagles really, really good, and you could use them on cooldown constantly. They don't have like a use limit. Other notable mentions, like I got targeting software upgrade pretty early, but the rest of them are honestly like pretty preference. Like it's personal preference. You could play this game honestly like however you want. So just to quickly touch on that, totally forgot to talk about where you get super credits, or not super credits, the samples from. The samples are associated with the difficulty of the game. So when you come into the game, when you're fresh off of the tutorial, when you're a fresh recruit, a cadet, you could only get common samples. And for the first 3 difficulties, that's in the bottom. It's the green one. Okay. Challenging 4 through 6 allows you to pick up rare samples. So that's challenging, hard, and extreme. And then super samples, you can only get that on 7 and above. You get all of the samples like down from you get commons, rares in this one, and you get rares and commons in this one, but yeah, you have to be 7 up to get super samples. So there is definitely value to play on higher difficulties of this game, so I would definitely encourage it. We'll quickly go in the war bonds section, and we'll talk about the superstore and super credits. First, like the superstore, this is what you spend your super credits on. It's usually armor. There's going to be some more stuff, I assume, with this. They rotate through certain things, so once you buy it, you kind of have it. I'm sure there's going to be more added to it, but you get a pretty decent amount of super credits while you're playing, and also through war bonds. This is also where you buy the super credits. Like I said, I don't see any reason to do it right now, but I could see myself doing it in the future. War bonds, great. This is where you spend your medals, okay? The way it works is each page you have to unlock. You have to spend a certain amount before you can unlock this next page. Most of it's cosmetic, but there are some notable purchases in here, right? First big page, well, not big page, the first, I'd say, notable purchase is going to be the Redeemer. I think this is the best secondary in the game, okay? The next page, you're going to get your first booster. The boosters do vary in strength. I think this is not the worst one, but it is the in fact, actually, you know what, I'm gonna go on a limb. I'm gonna say this is actually the worst one. I could talk about later in another video that just gave me a good idea of something to talk about, but I think this is the worst booster at this point. I wouldn't use this. Now if you only have this as a booster, use it, but I wouldn't use this. Notable purchase here, you have a defender, your submachine gun. You could use this one-handed. Page 4, that's your first page with a lot of good purchases. You have your vitality enhancement booster. Allows you to resist injury. Might not be as good as people give it credit for, but still pretty good. You have your hug. This is where all the memes and the dreams come from. You have your medic armor. This one is really, really good. It gives you 2 more stims, and it increases the duration of your stim effect. Really good. And then my favorite weapon in the game, still very good. Just got a nerf, but I still think I still think it's the one of the best weapons of the game, if not the best weapon in the game. It's the one I use all the time, the Breaker. This one is really, really good. And then page 5, you have your impact grenade. Impact grenades are really good. They're good versus bots, and they're good versus, like I said earlier, the nursing spewers and the bile spewers. Even though you could have someone with a grenade launcher, these also work really well versus it. They're also good versus chargers in a pinch. You can two-shot a charger with an impact grenade, which, again, another video. Then from here, there's a couple more boosters. You know, you have a recon booster, not very good, not used very often. I think it's probably on par with that first booster. Here you have your stamina booster. This is arguably the best one in the game because you spend a lot of time running. Maybe not versus the bots, but maybe. But stamina booster, very, very good. And then, yeah, from here, you know, you have muscle enhancement booster. You have to check it out. Page 8, that's the slugger. I've used this a little bit, pretty good. So that's how these work. You have your medals you spend in the war bonds here. This is the Steeled Veterans. This is if you purchased the Super Citizen package of the game, or you can unlock it with the super credits as well, I think, in the game. There's a couple things in here, you know, check it out. None of them which are like too incredibly strong. Let's see, is this... Maybe this one. People do really like this one. The Breaker Incendiary has a bigger magazine and it lights things on fire. There are some people that I know that actually prefer this over the regular Breaker now. But again, these are how the medals work. And as you can see, you could also exchange medals for war bonds. Or not war bonds, but super credits. You know, a limited amount. So those are going to be the currencies in Helldivers. There will be more videos on this channel related to Helldivers, and I'm going to be going more in depth. I'm going to be doing some videos on loadouts, doing discussion videos, maybe you know, team-based loadouts, things like that. So if you'd like to you know, see more Helldivers content from me, please go ahead and consider subscribing. You can also check me out on Twitch at twitch.tv/wabacha. I'm currently in the process of working on like kind of updating my graphics. I'll be getting a Discord going, updating my stream, you know, getting not bits, what are they called, channel points, getting those things ready and whatnot. And yeah, I just I look forward to spreading democracy with everyone. With that said, I'll see you guys later.